Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Empty Heads podcast with me, Eamon.
And me, Garrett.
That's how you doing, Garrett?
I'm doing great. It's been 2 weeks since we recorded episode 2 because we had a little gap in our upload because of we didn't want to just drop a podcast while everybody was talking about
important things,
important civil rights issues. It'd be a little bit weird just to be like, hey, look at us, we have a podcast now.
Hey guys, yeah, it'd be very insensitive of us.
Yeah, the plan was to have like a Twitter account for this, which will soon probably be up at some point for the announcement, but we had just decided to upload sort of.
And our own personal.
Yeah, sort of
Grams.
A silent upload, I guess.
Yeah. But for those of you listening now, thank you.
Yeah. You know who you are.
You know who you are. We're watching you. You're hearing
Simon.
us. You can't just drop his name. I'm going to have to censor it.
No, you don't have to censor it. I didn't say his last name. It'll be funny.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, important civil rights things going on here in the States, but again, we don't want to get into the news and or the politics of it. Great things are happening, though.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
So, okay. Have you seen F is for Family on Netflix?
I have not.
Oh, you'd love it. Bill Burr? Love Bill Burr.
I'm sure I would. I love Bill Burr.
Because season 4 came out, and I want to start watching that after I finish Glow, which you recommended to me.
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's, okay.
Anybody listening, Simon, you should absolutely watch that show. It is fantastic.
It's, okay.
Sorry to call you out again.
So, it's good for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Of the
Yeah, you don't have to.
the context of the show, but it's also just a good show.
Yeah, it's
like
fantastic.
the story and like the
everything
acting.
about it is great.
It's great. It's a good show. Mark Maron, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. He really looks like your standard 80s guy.
He does, yeah.
His glasses, his figure, his mustache, his haircut, it is like so perfectly captured, and I absolutely love it. I wish I could grow a mustache like that.
Have you listened to his podcast?
No, I haven't yet.
I keep telling you, you have to listen to it.
No, I have like a million podcast episodes to listen to.
He has 2 episodes every week, and there's always a good guest. I don't listen to it every week, but every time there's a guest I want to listen to,
one day we'll be
I
on
listen
there.
to it.
We'll be on the Mark Maron podcast.
Nah, I doubt it.
God, you're so pessimistic.
He's huge. He's like the biggest guy in podcasts. Not really, but
no, that's Joe Rogan.
But he was for a long time.
Joe Rogan,
and he's still huge.
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll be big.
Yeah, I guess we could have those kind of aspirations.
Yeah, but don't sell yourself too short there, champion. Good show, Glow.
Good show, yeah.
Good Glow show.
They had to cancel production this year, but they'll probably get back into it
because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So and now we're clear to say coronavirus on YouTube. We won't get like flagged or whatever. But when it
has it been 5 minutes or whatever?
It's 1 minute. Yeah, it's been time. Yeah, because there's like the first buffer where you can't curse or whatever.
Oh, YouTube.
No, because like
you know we're monetizing this.
Yes, eventually we will be able to monetize it.
Yeah, but we'll now.
Get sweet cash.
Right now, this is just for us.
Yeah, it's just for our own entertainment. Yeah, so TV is now something I do more often because I don't have school as much anymore.
It's a little gratifying, isn't it?
It is a little nice.
You just start to roll down the hill like a snowball. And you just get further and further into it.
Yeah, I find myself just watching like 5-6 episodes in one sitting. And then I look at the time and I'm just like, oh, jeez, it's 4 a.m. Like, what?
Oh, yeah. I was up till 5 last night.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've just been doing a lot of random shit in the mid, like really late at night. The other day, I tried resetting my sleep schedule by pulling the stay up all night and sleep early the next day.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah, it didn't work, no. I crashed at like 8 a.m. and then I woke up at like noon and I was like, okay, 4-hour nap is fine. And then I got up, I like used the bathroom, I washed my face, I went downstairs, and then I was like gonna make coffee and I was like, oh, I have to go grab my phone from upstairs. So I went upstairs and then I just fell onto my bed and didn't wake up till 4 in the afternoon.
That'll happen.
Yeah, it was weird. But I don't know. Now that I have more free time, I just kind of feel a little empty or like no purpose because we still can't really go out or do anything.
Tell me about it. You have to fill the void with television.
Yeah, and movies.
Exactly.
Like I mentioned to you last night, I watched the Superman Red Sun animated
I caught the end of that.
conversation. Oh,
Yeah.
it was good. The story is like really interesting. It's like, oh, what if Superman landed in the Soviet Union in the 40s?
And Batman's a Soviet. Too,
Yeah,
right?
Batman's a Russian. And like Lois Lane is married to Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it's interesting.
The movie, like one of the first scenes is like Lex Luthor picks up the phone, and then he's like, "Oh, Eisenhower, how you doing?" And then you just hear like, "Arr," and then he like, and then he's like, telling him about the Superman or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll deal with it. I just need you to let me like drop a satellite on the planet or some shit." And then he's like, "What?" And then he's like, "All right, I'll see you later, Ike." And he just hangs up on the president. And it's just like, that's just so funny how that's the case.
That sounds so. I've seen clips of that. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't. But there's a lot of funny stuff involving Stalin and whatnot in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like your standard Soviet Union, Mother Russia, or the Communist Party. It's so I love the idea of the Soviets having this god this godlike figure that's some super soldier, and they all just look up to him as well as Stalin.
Yeah.
Cause it's just funny how this guy is literally a super powered being, but they also have to look up to Stalin the same way because it's Stalin, the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
That's what Stalin means.
Yeah.
Funny. Actually, they never made a reference to that. That would have been a good thing to reference.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Good little animated movie. DC does good animated movies,
From what I've heard.
unlike their live action films.
Yeah. Snyder Cut's coming out.
Snyder Cut is coming out.
It's interesting to think about.
I don't want to have to pay for HBO Max though.
I figured out HBO Max. HBO's getting rid of HBO Go. So if you have a cable subscription, you have HBO Max.
Oh, really?
If your provider has a deal.
I have HBO Go because AT&T bought Time Warner and
you probably have
HBO. So the reason I have HBO Go is because they're like, oh, if you sign up for this data plan, we'll give you HBO Go. So will I get HBO Max? I'll just call the customer support.
Probably, yeah. I imagine, yeah.
Can't go without HBO anymore.
Honestly, yeah. They have, especially with Max coming out and all the extra content they have and they're going to have, along with their own catalog.
Yeah.
It seems like a must-have, to be honest.
Especially Curb Your Enthusiasm. Probably my favorite show on television.
Yeah, they're gonna have Studio Ghibli, which are really hard. Nobody has the streaming rights for that. Not nobody, but
Except for I think Netflix Japan has the rights for that.
yeah,
Which
exactly. So it's
we can't really.
I wanted to watch a lot of those movies, so it'll be interesting to have the access to them now.
Right. Yeah.
I was last week. I was trying to scour the internet, for Put Locker and whatnot for The Last Dance, and for the life of me, I couldn't find it.
No, you're trying to pirate it.
No, just stream it.
Thief.
That's what you do.
No. Those are working people.
Well, yeah. So far, it's unavailable anywhere on the internet, and it's not available on Netflix in the U.S., which is so
it's because it's on ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
or whatever it's called.
So I have no access to that, and I really, really want to watch it. And it's late news. I mean, it's done and over with. Everybody's already talked about it, but
I think if you give it a month, someone will.
People are gonna start talking about it again. But yeah.
I hate how Disney did that thing where they just split their streaming to a million different, because they own Hulu.
Yeah.
and then they made Disney Plus, and then ESPN Plus, and it's like because they're putting all of their Fox properties on Disney Plus. They're just keeping whatever was already on Hulu, except for like the stuff.
Well, there's Fox properties on Hulu.
Yeah, there are some Fox properties on Hulu, and then they're making shows like Solar Opposites or whatever. But like, they already had Hulu. I feel like they could have just redone it and made it like a little better, and then just like made that a sort of Disney Plus thing instead of making a completely different platform. But I don't know. They know better.
But I think Disney Plus is for like it's aimed at families and whatnot.
Yeah,
so.
I guess because Hulu had like a bad image. Because everyone was like, oh, Hulu, that's just shitty Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even though it has some of the best shows on TV.
Yeah, like Seinfeld. But Seinfeld's going to Netflix, I think.
2021.
Yeah.
I looked it up last night because I was like, man, I really want to watch Seinfeld.
That's next year. Don't you have a Hulu subscription?
No.
Oh, you hate to see it. I got mine through the Spotify student thing. So smart.
I don't think that's available anymore, and I do Spotify Family. So.
Oh, right. That's true. But yeah, that was that's super nice. There's just so many like weird, obscure things on streaming platforms, and I guess what Disney Plus does is that it's just like, okay, it's all stuff you're mostly familiar with. Excuse me, except like. Here's like those Disney movies you used to catch on Disney Channel when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And they're like, Air Bud 7, Return of Buddyless or whatever the fuck.
Air Buddies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those movies?
No. Great films.
They're just like comically bad.
Yeah.
When you're a little kid, you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, dogs playing basketball.
I don't think there was ever a Disney Channel movie where they were like, all right, this has to be good.
You know what? I read this. I catch this a lot.
Unless it's like animated.
Yeah, the anime movie, sure, but I catch this a lot on Reddit. Everyone's like, "Oh, what's like what's a B movie that you love or whatever, or like a shitty movie you love?" And it's always like Sky High from Disney Channel.
That movie's actually kind of good.
It that's the thing though. It is kind of good, and it's just like a smart idea of it's just like the concept is actually really like good. It's just surprising that they just kind of threw that on Disney Channel and that people actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like as far as like it's not actually like a great movie, but it's decent by most standards. Mm-hmm. And it is a very like cool premise to think about. Like just that sort of idea of a world where like superpowered kids are just going to high school or something like that. It's very like X-Men, but it feels a lot different because they're not like mutants, they're not outcasts or anything.
Yeah, and it's just more casual.
Yeah, they're superheroes.
It's like, oh yeah,
like the main kid's parents are like basically celebrities.
Yeah. And it's like
Kurt Russell and what's her face? I don't remember her name.
Oh my god, that is Kurt Russell.
Yeah, it is Kurt Russell.
Oh wow, I haven't seen the movie in a while, but yeah, it is. And it's just funny how it like the kid like doesn't have his powers yet or whatever, and then he goes to school and eventually he gets them, and it's just like those sort of movies always that concept is always pretty fun for me.
Yeah,
because it's just like, oh, what if?
That's why I love Into the Spider-Verse. Love that movie.
Yeah, good film. The next one's coming out in 2022, I think.
Something like that. Yeah. Spider-Man 2099. It's gonna be pretty sick.
It's gonna be interesting. I wonder what they're gonna do with that character. I've never like looked into any of the other Spider-Mans except for like Peter Parker. Like obviously everyone knows the Peter Parker story, but I don't know like Miles Morales and like Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, and then
whatever.
Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about them either, but I know that they're cool characters, so
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Speaking
of Spider-Man, they announced Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, the game, yeah,
the game,
for PS5.
Which is actually a standalone game.
Oh, it's not going to be a DLC.
It's not like an expansion. I think they said it's like a standalone, sort of like Uncharted: Lost Legacy,
right? Or like
I don't know what
Far
else.
Cry Blood Dragon, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon,
something like
weird
that.
80s cyber one.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I love that game, by the way. It's so fucking stupid. It's awesome. You know what? That's cool that it's like going to be its standalone thing, but I also like it better be like a full length game.
I hope so. The first game is awesome.
Yeah, I still need to play that. Because I love the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah.
Which I could be wrong, but I think they're developing a new one. I could be wrong, though.
I don't know. The ending of Arkham Knight was like weird.
It was weird. It was like kind of open-ended.
Yeah.
Good games. Great games.
Great games.
We love them.
I don't know. After playing Arkham Knight, though, beautiful game, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the Spider-Man game more. There's just like a satisfaction you get with swinging through the city
Yeah.
that you don't really get when you're gliding around
As Batman?
Gotham. Like,
But yeah, I mean, but you can't do that as Batman.
what?
You can't, like... I mean, Batman can't fucking swing around.
Yeah, obviously, but no, it's just like the sort of base mechanics, like the very basic essence of getting around, like
Right, yeah.
traveling. Yeah, and the combat too. The combat's very interesting. As Spider-Man, with the aspect of like web slinging and having webs, and you can
Right,
like
yeah.
die in like 3 hits, which is interesting.
Yeah,
It's like
'cause-
he's like a ballerina. If you hit him once, like he can get messed up. But you just have to be nimble and fast, and it makes it for fun action.
What are you saying about ballerinas? They're weak?
No, I'm not.
No, I know what you mean. It's just like quick and nimble. I still need to play it. I don't feel like
It's
playing
probably
on
like $20
PlayStation.
at this point. Like,
Yeah.
it's totally worth it.
There's so many.
It's like the only game I've actually 100% completed.
Really?
Aside from trophies, like the actual in-game like map and whatnot, 100%.
Oh, okay. What game have I 100%ed? I don't know. I think I 100% like Lego Star Wars when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
I love those games. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
I bet there's some asshole out there who's like, yeah, they're stupid. Meh."
So what's today, the 12th or 13th?
Yeah,
So Last of Us comes out 7 days from now,
the second one.
the second one. And I am so hyped for it.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan
Like,
of the first one.
unbelievably hyped for it. I'm just gonna buy it day one. In fact, if I scrounge up enough money, I'm probably just gonna pre-purchase it. Like,
Yeah, why not? And,
So-
and, like preload it so you could play it like right when it drops. That'd be
yeah.
good.
Yeah. I don't know. And like, it's funny though, because my PlayStation's old and it's never been like cleaned out. And I know people do that. And I know that game is like probably going to be graphically ahead of anything that's ever been put out. So I know that my PlayStation is just going to be like loud as fuck. Just so.
Oh yeah, the PS4
loud.
gets so loud, and you know what? It gets really hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
When my roommate would play on his,
Love that guy.
I hate that guy. It'd be like, it's so loud, and the room would get like it get super hot, and like during the winter, when at night it was
You
cold.
could almost feel it.
Yeah, like no, not almost. I felt it. Like it was hot, and I opened the window, and like
I
oh,
imagine
God.
your PC would like just amplified that.
Yeah, my PC made it worse, but like, oh god, it was ridiculous. Like even if my computer was off,
Yeah.
it was like having a space heater in the room.
It's insane.
Yeah,
And it, like, yeah, honestly, like that game, from the trailers alone, you know that nothing will be graphically on par with that because almost nothing ever is when it comes to Naughty Dog.
right. Yeah,
So it's just gonna kick my PlayStation's ass.
I mean, it
it's
should
gonna
be fine. They
it's
probably
gonna be
optimize
awesome.
it or whatever.
No, it's definitely gonna be optimized, but I know that it's just gonna be so loud.
Sorry, gotta fix my chair. You should probably like clear out files and stuff so that it'll have more like
oh yeah.
read write space.
Yeah, I just finished Red Dead again, so I'm just
still need
gonna
to
delete that.
play that, buy it on PC and play it.
Yeah,
Still need to be the Outer Worlds. You started that yesterday.
I did.
How
By
was
the
that?
way, Game Pass, excellent.
We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored, but I
So-
highly recommend it if you like video games, if you like a variety, the single player experience, whatever.
I'm getting a phone call from Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Your phone's supposed to be on silent.
It is. I had it on Do Not Disturb. It just vibrated. I'm sorry for that.
No, it's fine. But like I was saying,
Shelbyville.
Game Pass is probably a must-have. It's basically a Netflix streaming service, $5 a month for like, I don't know, I like a basic guess of like maybe 60 games. It's probably more than that. Games like The Outer Worlds, which are AAA titles that came out last year or this year or whatever. Like that's such a like undeniably good deal. And now
Yeah.
that they're coming out with this Xbox like beta app for the PC, like
It's a smart move.
it's so smart. Like they're just like they're making themselves like not limited to just the Xbox. They're also making sure that Windows is a part of like
The
their
gaming
whole
scene.
gaming platform.
Because
And
now
by the way, I don't think the Xbox looks that goofy. The new one. People
everyone
are talking
says
about like how it looks
goofy.
like a refrigerator.
Yeah, it looks like a little mini fridge.
It looks fine to me. It's not even as big as like what the Xbox One X was. Like people making fun of that.
Right.
I think it just looks kind of cool. Like it's just a nice like sleek little look.
Yeah, it is sleek. I just don't like how both Xbox and PlayStation went for a vertical design.
That was a little weird. I definitely think the Xbox looks better than the PS5 though.
Yeah, the
PS5
is
just looks like a big router.
they're trying too hard to look like a sleek, like futuristic thing, and I hate that.
Yeah, and I saw it compared to the size of the previous consoles.
I saw
it's
that
like
too on Reddit.
huge.
It's
Yeah, you saw that.
massive.
Yeah, it's insane.
And it's like I said, the vertical thing. I think you could take it off the stand or whatever, like you go to the PS4.
Yeah.
But like, because most people don't have space for a vertical thing. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna buy it. That's crazy. I've owned every PlayStation, and I'm probably never gonna buy another one.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna buy another one.
You're gonna buy PS5?
Yeah, not day one.
No, you're
Not
gonna
day
wait a
one.
while
I'm gonna wait
for the games to come out.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah, for the
'Cause
price to go
I-
down too, because it'll be expensive,
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like $800.
which is
But I
ridiculous.
recently replayed God of War, and knowing that a Spider-Man sequel is gonna come out and more Naughty Dog games, like it's like just for their exclusives, it's almost a must-have at this point, which everybody already says, but it's so true.
Right? Yeah.
And like regardless of the price, it's probably something that I'm gonna have to get down the line, just because. I mean, their exclusive titles alone are just so good. Mm-hmm. And replaying through that new God of War, like I'm so excited for what the next game is supposed to be.
Right.
Because they hint Thor at the end of the game, which is a spoiler, but it's been out for 2 years. Sorry. Which is like just
How could you?
I know.
How could
Which
you?
is-
I'm probably never gonna
Which
play
is
it.
just so like epic to think about after seeing. I've never played the original God of War games, but him going through the whole Greek pantheon, like, and knowing that the battles were like on such a massive epic scale, like I know that a showdown with Thor is just gonna be fucking awesome.
Right. Yeah.
So there's that.
Thor- Yeah.
Not to mention that the first game, the main antagonist, like, is someone I
Zeus.
never knew about. No,
Wait, is
in
it
the
Zeus?
original God of War. Or no, not the original.
In the
newest.
new. In the
It's
Nordic.
not Zeus. It's a Norse god.
Yeah, in the new one.
In the new one,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I meant like the first one.
the
I
first
think
one,
it was
yeah.
Zeus, or that was maybe the
But it
second
was
one.
like a Norse god I really had no prior knowledge of, and it was still amazing. Like
Which Norse god?
Balder.
Balder, god
Yeah.
of.
I don't know what he's the god of, but
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
I
And,
don't
like,
know
they
much
make
about
it
Norse
like
mythology.
epic.
Of course, they make it epic. It's
God of War, but
Yeah.
like, and also the story is amazing.
And his little boy. I know that was
Yeah,
the meme, right?
that was
Yeah.
the meme for a long time.
Funny.
It still is the meme.
I guess it is.
Yeah. And then obviously a next gen console will be good for whatever Rockstar decides to release in the next generation, which who knows, but they never go PC first. They always do console first and then PC port. So it's like, all right, well, if the game is really good, then I will be glad that I have that console just to play through GTA 6 or whatever, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. They're just porting GTA 5 over.
Yeah, but they're going to make another one.
Yeah.
It made $1 billion. Like I doubt they're like, we could make a new game and make even more money off of that multiplayer by essentially keeping it the same as GTA
Right.
5 multiplayer. Like,
They just keep adding things to GTA 5, and I think they're gonna go for the same direction with Red Dead.
yeah,
Like re-release it, make the multiplayer like massive, fix it because I think it was like super shitty when it came
but
out.
I doubt the idea of not having a new GTA game is not in their like future plans. Like,
Right? Yeah.
it's just such a massively successful franchise. You'd think like there's no way that they're gonna stop making games because GTA 5 is still successful.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and just think about that with the PS5 hardware and the new Xbox hardware, what that game is going to look like.
Right. Yeah.
And think about what Red Dead looked like.
Yeah. It's just gonna be so much.
It's going to be amazing.
But like, I mean, we're both of the PC camp.
Yeah.
Obviously, computers have been able to render stuff like that for years now.
Yeah.
So, but you know, consoles are a more realistic option for people that can't afford a PC, don't want to build a PC. It's just easier. You plug it in and you go, as opposed to just a whole PC, which is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Rockstar too, is their focus isn't PC.
Mm-hmm.
So they're building whatever they're building for a console, and it always looks amazing, which is just like kind of crazy to think about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if you think about if they were making the game like for PC specifically, like how great it could look given the power of what like top of the line PC hardware is at. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like the best at doing it. Imagine like Naughty Dog if they weren't a PlayStation exclusive, and how great they make their games look every single title.
I mean, it's like CD Projekt Red is the Naughty Dog of PC.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, basically. Like, oh, by the way, Cyberpunk, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, it looks great. No, that sounded sarcastic.
I know.
But no, it actually looks really
It
interesting.
looks fantastic.
Of course, like a few weeks ago, they were like, "Oh, you customize your genitals," and I was just like, "What?"
It's funny though.
It's
like,
funny, but it's gonna be like the
It's like-
Saints Row thing where
it's
like,
not gonna. I think it's gonna be a little bit more explicit than that.
really. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
I think it's gonna be actually like
Imagine
you're gonna see some cock and balls. in this
Imagine
game.
your job is to program a rendering engine just for genitals.
Yeah. Well, that's somebody's job at CD Projekt Red.
Yeah,
I think it's just because they're being ambitious with like what you're capable of in that game. So it's like customization. You can do anything. You can make your cock and balls huge or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
massive balls.
it's like they're going for a vision of like this world is here for you to do whatever you want. I think.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's a great idea when you think about it. And like the setting sort of makes it great for that. Like the setting, the cybernetic enhancements that all these people have made for themselves, like customization is something that's going to be massive in that game.
Right.
So it makes sense.
It's a quote unquote realistic approach. Because like, I mean, come on. If we eventually reach cybernetic enhancements, people are going to be doing wild shit with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like, it makes sense.
It makes sense. If that
well-
game is at all co-op, we have to play it.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We'll do a podcast episode while we're playing.
Yeah.
So I guess now that we're on video games, E3 at home, every company's just going for the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Nintendo
Sony
was
started
way ahead of the game.
Yeah, Sony did that for like The Last of Us, their final announcement for the release date. They
Right, yeah.
did basically like a Nintendo Direct thing for it.
It's so funny how Nintendo is ahead of the game, as they always are.
And but sometimes they're like behind too. Which is funny. Like they were ahead on this one. Like when you think about it, like E3 seems like everybody's been talking about how E3 is like sort of just a massive waste of time. Like how they opened it up to consumers and whatnot, and it's not really what it used to be. Like you'd think the Nintendo Direct thing is like a no-brainer.
Right, but it took a global pandemic.
It took a global pandemic for them to realize, like, oh yeah, Nintendo's doing this right. Like,
I think it's because those companies made so much money off of E3.
Yeah, most likely. But it seems like you could easily.
Sorry, I just had a really powerful burp.
You could easily like save a ton of money by not going to the E3 at all.
Right. Yeah.
And just doing it in house and like announcing all your stuff and just generating so much hype because people are going to be watching that.
Right. Yeah. The hype train is easier to build through the internet.
Yeah.
And then like, did Bethesda announce anything yet? No. Right.
No. I mean, everything they announced, they basically announced last year. Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, like that's it.
I keep getting these articles suggested because Google like suggests you articles based on your search history. So like since I Google like Skyrim things like mods or whatever once in a while,
me too.
I get like suggestions of like, oh, news on the Elder Scrolls 6, right? Every week, and it's the same article, like release date, this, that. So I click on it one time, and I was
And it's always like, we don't actually have news about the release
we have
date.
no information. And the same people re-release the exact same article weekly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you?
They're just
I guess they're
generating
getting
clicks, I
like
guess.
ad revenue, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, Pete Hines said like Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 are both really far out.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can gather that just from the fact that like it was basically a JPEG for both games.
I can't believe they did that. I can't believe Bethesda's.
It's funny though because they know like that they're gonna generate hype, like new IP and the long-awaited Elder Scrolls 6. Like
Right,
all you
yeah.
need is a JPEG for that.
It is a little disappointing Bethesda's going downhill.
I think Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna put them back up.
I think so if they don't fuck it up. What they need to do is just like, okay, what made Skyrim great? How can we improve on that? And I really think the reason it's taking them so long is because they're developing a new engine.
It has to be.
Like
It has to be.
yeah, because the story is probably already there.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, the lore is massive.
The only thing you need to do to improve on Skyrim is literally a new engine.
Yeah, a new engine, obviously a new story and shit, and like, a new setting, which is apparently not going to be Hammerfell. That rumor was dismissed.
Really?
Which I'm very disappointed about
I wonder where it's gonna be then.
because I love the idea of Hammerfell and High Rock.
I'd love like the idea of like a new continent.
Yeah, there are other continents on Nirn,
And
the planet Nirn.
And it's like the Imperials try and go to another continent, and maybe it's like a war thing,
Right.
Sort of like Stormcloak's Imperials, but on a bigger scale, sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing is like in the Elder Scrolls lore, okay, because in like Elder Scrolls Online, it's set like 300 years before Skyrim, and the lore is or something like that, and the lore is that there's this massive war going on across the entirety of Tamriel, and it's like 3 massive factions or whatever. There's the Empire, the Aldmeri Dominion, and the other guys. I forgot what they're called. So it's like the Empire is like the
Imperials, obviously.
the Imperials and like I think the Nords. I could be wrong about that. And like other country, and then like the Aldmeri Dominion's like the elves,
Yeah.
and then like the other ones like the orcs and like the Argonians, right? So like, I guess in the new Elder
Khajiit?
Scrolls it could be like, Tamriel is like at peace, but the Empire is trying to expand to other
That would be cool.
continents. Yeah, it
That
would be cool. I'm not. I've like.
And maybe introduce like one new race. Like you don't have to introduce like 3 or something like that.
Right, yeah. It could be like, this little part of this new continent. And
Yeah.
they're kind of like more tribal.
And then you find that the Dwemer are some.
Right, or yeah, that'd be amazing. The Dwemer are somewhere else because they're extinct.
Yeah.
What I love about the Elder Scrolls is that they've really, really like perfected the lore.
Yeah.
Like
You can gladly not read into any of it, and you'll still kind of have an idea of what goes on.
Right.
But like it's sort of like Dark Souls in a way where if you do read into it, there's just so much to like.
it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Because I was playing Oblivion, and you do find those books around.
Yeah.
And like they're full on books. And one of them was called like The Tale of the Dragonborn. And it's like, wow, this was in the lore before like Skyrim and the whole Dragonborn idea
Yeah.
was
So it's not like they're making it up on the spot.
right. Yeah, it's all like, already there and they just expand on it.
Yeah.
And all the like Daedra or whatever. Cause like the DLC for Oblivion, you go to the Shivering Isles, and it's the Daedric Prince of Madness. Oh my God, his name is blanking on me. The weird guy.
Doesn't he give you the weird staff?
Yeah, the Wabbajack. In Skyrim,
Yeah.
he gives you the Wabbajack.
Yeah.
That's where it's... So in Skyrim, he also appears in Skyrim in like a quest where you go into like a painting or whatever, right? Something like... Not a painting. You go
I
into
forget.
like a weird world, and you can get the Wabbajack from him because... that's also a quest in Oblivion,
Yeah.
but it's like a different kind of quest, but it's a similar idea. So yeah, and then like there's Molag Bal in Skyrim and Oblivion, and then the main Daedric guy in Oblivion, because it's about how he's like opening Oblivion gates across all of Tamriel to like take over or whatever the fuck.
And maybe, Elder Scrolls 6 are like somebody's opening Oblivion gates again. or
Right,
something like
and
that.
this time it's like bigger. Maybe they'll go for a different idea. I like because when
You know what would be crazy though? If like we're not doing it in one region, we're gonna do it in all of Tamriel.
That's what I was also thinking. Like,
Sorry to interrupt, by the way.
no,
but,
it's fine. Like a double world map sort of deal, where it's like you have the country.
It's sort of like The Witcher, where it's like each like kingdom of Tamriel. I don't know what each area is called, like Skyrim, Hammerfell.
I think they're just countries.
Countries. Each country is like their own map,
right?
Which is basically what The Witcher did.
Yeah, and then you could go to like a different country. Yeah.
And it's basically all of Tamriel, but you have the map. Maybe they sort of slightly scaled down each map just to make it work, but you still get like the map of Skyrim, maybe a little bit smaller, but you still get it.
Right. Yeah.
And you get everywhere else, because some of those countries are like really small. If I'm not.
I'd have to look at it. I think Skyrim's one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And
I think
Cyrodiil.
like Cyrodiil is like kind of small.
Yeah.
Compared to, because it's in the center. Mm-hmm. So like some of them are kind of small, so it'd be like sort of easy to work that in.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't want to go to Elsewhere, the Khajiit place.
The desert.
Yeah.
The deserts of Elsewhere. Why not?
No, I do want to.
Oh,
go.
I thought you said you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just to see a bunch of Khajiit, because it'd be cool.
Yeah, I love, you run into Khajiit and they're like, the deserts of Elsewhere, nothing like here. The winds blow cold in Skyrim, and it's just like, oh. I love like the
Khajiit
little
are the best.
itty bitty things. And like you run it in Skyrim, you run into Maik the liar or whatever, the Khajiit and then you run into him in Oblivion. You know what I mean? Or I think he's also in Morrowind as well. That's the thing. They really do a great job of linking all the games in like little minute ways.
Yeah.
Because it's all one planet. Like in Fallout, obviously like everything's linked with like Nuka-Cola and whatever, and
the
like,
fact that it's in the U.S.
Yeah, the fact that it's all one country, but like
there's no like link from Fallout 4 to 3 that it's like there's all this stuff going on in the Capital Wasteland. It's sort of like
because it's set like 30 years, 20 years after Fallout 3.
But you'd think there'd be mention of like,
well, the Brotherhood is from the Capital Wasteland.
Yeah, no, but I mean like, there was this guy who came from Vault 101 who did all this shit in the Capital Wasteland.
Right, that's true. It is slightly mentioned, but it's not like a major thing.
Yeah, and you'd think it would be, because Fallout 3 is kind of like a big scale in terms of like everything that's done there.
Right, yeah. Because like the water thing, like they revolutionized the wasteland.
Yeah,
the whole water thing.
Yeah,
because like Elder Maxim.
Yeah, something like that.
He is in Fallout 3.
Yeah,
he's like a little kid. In Fallout 3, he's like the Elder's grandson or whatever.
So it'd be like 40 or 50 years, because Elder Maxim is kind of like old, isn't he?
No, I think he's in his 30s.
Not old, but like like
in Fallout 3 he's like 8.
Oh, he's like, okay.
Yeah, or like 10, something like that. So in Fallout 4, it's like 20 years later. I really, really loved Fallout 4. I loved the environment and the story.
I like the setting.
The setting
I really like Boston.
Is wonderful, but they just kind of like gave up on the little things that made those games so good.
Yeah.
The detail in New Vegas is honestly more impressive than in Fallout 4. Because, like, Fallout 4 has so many empty locations.
Yeah.
New Vegas is, like... There's so many little stupid things in New Vegas that are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Have you played through...
I haven't played through it completely, no.
You know what? I know because the graphics thing for you. Yeah. There's a team that's working on...
They're doing, like, a New Vegas port on Fallout 4, right?
Yeah, and also there's a team doing Capital Wasteland. It's like the people porting Oblivion and Morrowind to Skyrim. But those are not going to be out for a long time, because it's a small team basically redoing an entire AAA game, so it's not easy.
Yeah. But, I think the things I liked about most about 4 was just, it was all pretty much the setting, like the idea that Fenway is like...
A little city
and stuff like that. But there's definitely a lot more that could have been done with it, especially in that, like... It's much more metropolitan than Washington, D.C. is. Right,
yeah. And like the weapons and like, I don't know, so many things were just kind of dumbed down.
Yeah.
I guess because a
lot of people had a problem with the perk system. I don't have a problem with that.
The perk system is better. It could have been better.
It could have been better.
So they're trying to redo it, because the perk system, honestly, in 3 in New Vegas kind of sucks. Because
it feels very specific to certain things.
Because it's based off of the perk system of the originals, which is based off of a perk system of an old board game from the 80s called GURPS.
Really?
Yeah.
I have never heard of this.
So they couldn't get the rights to use the GURPS perk system, or I think it was GURPS, some shit like that. So they made Special, which is basically the same thing. It's an acronym in each thing. So in Fallout 1 and 2, it works because it's like a, what do you call it?
Like agility? Or
No. It's the type of game. It's a,
isometric?
it's isometric. It's a timed combat. What do you call that?
Turn-based?
Turn-based combat. There you go. I can't believe I forgot that. It's like turn-based combat and all. It works. That system works. So they, instead of like developing a new perk system for Fallout 3 New Vegas, which is FPS open world RPG, they just kind of converted it over, and it didn't really work because like singular points for each of the special, and then singular points for each of your things. You know, like lockpicking, pickpocket, speed,
And like certain traits.
yeah, and like perks.
There's like the trait that I always remember, which is like Black Widow, which is like you do more damage to men or something like that.
Right,
It feels
yeah.
like a little too specific, even though it's in Fallout 4. Like it still feels like many of those like traits that are in 3 in New Vegas feel like sometimes like they're a little too specific.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you shoot faster, but you have more weapon spread, and you have like a 5% increase of criticals, and it's just like very, very detailed things. And then it's like, you know, there's like 4 eyes, where you need, or you have better perception with glasses on.
Yeah,
but your
yeah.
charisma goes down. It's like a very
things like
D&D
that.
sort of thing.
Yeah, it's very D&D.
So Fallout 4, they tried to make it more like video gamey general, like they did with Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because it was the same system in Oblivion, a similar system in Oblivion, and then they redid it in Skyrim, and in Skyrim it worked really well.
Yeah.
So they tried doing the Skyrim thing, but like a little more dumbed down, and I think they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I don't think they should have dumped it down, but I think it works for the direction they were going for, which is more FPS shooter type, but overall it's still a little bit more dumbed down. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
One thing I love about Fallout New Vegas and kind of Fallout 3 is the special weapons, like the unique weapons, are really, really unique. Like,
yeah.
Random, stupid, funny, whatever, like actually unique. In Fallout 4, it's just like, you know, it's a regular SMG, and
But
then
you
it just
get
has
to
a
mod the
special
shit out of it
enchantment
or whatever.
Yeah. And it has like a special enchantment, like a special power on it.
You get from killing someone.
Yeah, and it has like
thing,
a fancy name, but there's no like real unique guns, except for like in Nuka World, you can get like a little water pistol that if you find a special version, it shoots like quantum nuclear blasts or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's only like a few unique weapons. It's like the junk jet. Mm-hmm. There's like the railway spike shooter. And like a few other things, but that's really about it.
I really like how they
Power fist.
How they built up off of because in Fallout 3, there's a weapon building system, but like you find a blueprint and then you get all these little parts and then you put together like a little dart shooter and the junk jet. I think it's called something else in Fallout 3. I could be wrong. And like other things, you build those, right? And like bean can grenades or whatever. And then in New Vegas, there was a weapon modding system. Excuse me. Where it was like, yeah, there's the stuff from Fallout 3, you build your custom things, but you could also buy modifications for your weapons.
Yeah.
And then in Fallout 4, they just kind of merged all of that into one system where it's like everything is fully customizable, which was really cool. I loved it. You get like a pistol, you make it into a rifle, especially those pipe rifles. You know, they're really fun because it's like you do whatever. But they like I said, they dumbed it down for a general audience. That's the thing. Fallout 4 is the most like played Fallout because it's so broad. Like anyone can pick it up. You don't have to know the lore or whatever, and you figure it out. Which I think Bethesda, like for me as like a Fallout guy, and I love the lore. I really wish they didn't do that, but you know they're just in it for the money, obviously.
I think the last thing I did in New Vegas before I stopped playing it was I found the Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh, I love the Brotherhood in New Vegas.
Yeah.
Because do you know like the full lore of the Brotherhood?
Not really.
Okay, so they originated in the West. If you play Fallout 1, like that's like where they're from on the West Coast, and they're very isolated and secluded from the rest of the wasteland, and they just kind of see themselves as better. And their only thing they're set out to do is to find technology.
Yeah.
In Fallout 3, they're like the saviors of the world. And on the East Coast, they're the saviors of the world or whatever. On the West Coast, they're just like these little, or they're not little. They were a big faction, and they were just like okay, we're better than everyone because we have technology and we'll just hide in this bunker.
Yeah.
But then there's like a war they have with the NCR and then they die out and then they're this little tiny thing in Fallout New Vegas. So you pull up and it's just like a few guys and they're like, what are you doing here? This is the Brotherhood of Steel. Like, get the fuck out of our bunker. And then you kill them or whatever.
There's not a whole lot you can do with them.
No, there's not. But it's really cool how New Vegas, they made the lore where it's like these guys were the powerhouse of the region until the NCR came in and kind of redid a Republic sort of thing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. The Fallout lore, the Elder Scrolls lore, great, fun, interesting stuff. So the Outer Worlds, I don't know.
You don't know?
It's a good game. It's just, there's something missing.
I only played like 2 hours, but it definitely felt like something was lacking.
Right.
But I don't know. I'll probably play through it.
There are some fun, unique weapons though.
Yeah.
They're called like super science guns or some dumb shit like that. But they're like interesting. It's like actual unique weapons because like it's the New Vegas developers, so they know how to do unique things like Fisto the robot.
If there is a New Vegas remaster, I'd definitely play it.
Yeah, I think Bethesda would make a lot of money if they did that.
Yeah. There's a lot of companies who can make a lot of money off of remasters, but it seems like they don't.
I saw this meme about the new, like the Ratchet and Clank trailer. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But like apparently everyone was disappointed with the new Ratchet design. Is Ratchet the cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or whatever it is, the ocelot.
Yeah.
Because like,
I don't know.
I guess it's like gray and it's like a girl now? I think. Like, I don't know. I didn't watch the trailer, but like that's what I assumed from the design, which I guess is wrong of me. But I just, give me the disappointment. I don't know. I just saw a bunch of memes. I'm going to have to look into it. But I saw that and I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, my brother texted me the other day to get Ratchet and Clank, the newest one by Insomniac.
Oh, I haven't played that. I haven't played Ratchet and Clank since like the PS2.
Yeah.
Good
I
games,
never
though.
played it, but from what I know is that they're good, so I'd probably pick it up.
You know what I never played is the Sly Cooper games.
Me neither. Because I was an Xbox 360 kid, so I just played Halo.
Right. Yeah.
And like Call of Duty and whatnot and Skyrim. So all the PlayStation 3 exclusives, I didn't really get or PlayStation 2 exclusives. I didn't really play them until PlayStation 4, and like the extent of that is like the Uncharted series,
right?
As far as those old exclusives go.
Yeah, I grew up with, because all my siblings are like a lot older than me, or at least 3 of them are. So I grew up with an N64, a PS1, a GameCube, a PS2, and an Xbox.
That's awesome.
So I got a taste of everything. So like that's why I really love the N64 and like older video games, and that's why I'm cool with playing games with shitty graphics because I don't really mind.
Well, yeah, I mean like I don't mind either because I just replayed through like Modern Warfare 2, but it's just like something about New Vegas felt off to me.
It's because it's very gross looking.
Yeah,
like it's so funny. It's like it's hilarious how weird the game looks and the renders and the models and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Mario 64 probably like one of my favorite platformers of all time. I still need to play Odyssey though.
Yeah, I need to finish that. I only played like 2 hours of it.
I need to play Odyssey. Ocarina of Time. Everyone loves Ocarina of Time. Good game. I never played Majora's Mask, and they, for whatever reason, re-released it on the 3DS, but not on the Wii U. At least I think they didn't. On the Switch. If they released Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the Switch, like it'd be such a good deal. But they seem like they don't really give a shit. But Breath of the Wild is also a fantastic game.
Speaking of exclusives and Xbox exclusives, with the Game Pass, Halo 1 and 2, and the Master Chief Collection are all on there.
The Master Chief Collection is on the Game Pass?
Yes.
Okay, I might have to get that tonight.
You're going to have to cop it. We're going to have to play a co-op campaign.
I love Halo 3. And Reach.
I don't know if Halo 3 is on PC yet, though.
Damn it.
Reach is...
The Master Chief Collection is...
the Master Chief Collection is everything, but they only released Reach. I think they're still working on 3 to put on.
Oh.
but I don't know yet. Don't take my word for that.
Okay,
but
I'll
do
look
you
into
remember recently when Reach had just come out
Yeah.
on Steam?
Reach is one of my favorite
I-
Halos as well.
Yeah, I downloaded the Master Chief Collection because my brother had it, and we shared libraries, and Reach was the only one available. So,
Damn.
but Halo 3 co-op campaign and Reach co-op campaign,
Both excellent.
both awesome, and I think
Amazing.
we should do it.
Halo Reach was the last Halo I played. I didn't play
me too.
4.
I didn't play 4 or 5 or.
Oh, there's a
anything.
5, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just heard they're not good. Because 3, 4, 3 or whatever. Because Bungie left
Yeah.
and made Destiny and... Destiny. You ever play Destiny?
I did. Destiny 2, yeah.
You played it? Is it good?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I just heard it's like a lot of just grinding.
It is, but it's like a really tight, good shooter.
Really? That's
Yeah.
good. I mean, Bungie's good at that. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just it's very interesting looking like into the scope of video games because like when I was little, it was just not so. I don't know. It wasn't. Not everyone I knew. I guess it depends on who you surround yourself with, but like most people now are familiar with most video games.
Definitely.
Like growing up,
The era of console wars, I'm pretty sure, is over.
yeah. Now it's just like because crossplay is like a big thing.
Crossplay and like I feel like a lot of people
Don't really care.
don't care and probably have both at some point.
Right? Yeah. Most people just get both for the exclusives.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I was a PlayStation 3 guy, and like most of my friends were, but there was always some person that had an Xbox instead.
And they're like, yeah, man, Halo's great.
and then you're just like, oh jeez, or we could never play together. And I
Yeah.
always was like, man, they should just do crossplay. And then finally, like once I switched to PC, eventually crossplay came out, and it's just like, okay, whatever. Like,
Yeah. Like the majority of like people who play consoles for the exclusives definitely have both. And then the people who are only using the console for multiplayer games, or now that crossplay's out, like it doesn't matter anymore.
yeah, it doesn't matter what you have.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I had something on my mind that I wanted to bring up, but fuck, I forgot it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you have a?
Oh, Destiny 2.
Oh, okay.
The recent announcement that they made basically solidifies that Destiny 2 is Destiny forever. They're not gonna make a Destiny 3.
Oh, and they're just gonna keep updating it.
Yeah, and
Like, wow.
I think they're moving it towards being just a straight up MMO rather than making a new game every few years or
That's
something.
smart.
It is smart because it basically already is an MMO, and the more they keep updating it, the more they add to the classes and making it much more
Right.
detailed and what you can do with the classes and what you can do within the world. Like, would just make it all better
Yeah.
rather than having to make a new game.
Yeah, like World of Warcraft. I think with that, Bungie can then set a team for the MMO, and then they can make other games like Blizzard
And
does.
make a new IP.
Yeah, like Blizzard does that. They Overwatch.
Like Bungie,
Whatever the
they're
fuck.
like great at making games. I'd love to see something new from them.
right,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, we both just took a swig of our drinks, so that was funny. But yeah, I think Bungie could do really well, and that's a great look for them.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all we have for today. Thank you for coming back. This episode was very video game heavy, so I hope you enjoyed that. Tune in next week for episode 4, and so on and so on. Thanks for listening in. I'm Garrett.
I'm Eamon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.